G'day guys, ZiggyD here. Path of Exile's patch 3.1 brought with it some awesome new tools for us to use in our builds in the form of these Shaped and Elder rares. Now what I've been noticing is not many people have actually been buying these, either the ones I'm selling or the awesome ones I see listed on PoE.Trade for quite cheap. You can get a new 5 or 6 link for your build for very little currency currently right now, and that's in addition to your chest armor in the form of scepters like this one, or helmets and gloves and boots that have additional support links on them. There's some other awesome stats, but in this one I want to talk about how to obtain these, how to go about finding versions of these items that you can purchase for your build. Because I think that's the problem, is these are brand new and there's a lot of different affixes on them and people just don't really know what to look for or how to go about looking for stuff that they can slot into their build. So that's what I want to cover in this video so that you guys can try and find some awesome new Shaper and Elder rares that you can use in your build. So I bought this one for really cheap, a few chaos, and crafted the spell damage on it. And this functions as a 5 link for my clear skill, Volatile Dead. So it works really, really nicely for me. It was a very solid upgrade for my build. I was just kind of in the lead up to this video testing this process a bit, and I found another one here that I thought was pretty good. I bought this for 5 chaos. It's basically a 5 link with nearly 100 extra damage to spells and 6 to 110 lightning damage to spells. I bought that for 5C and crafted the spell damage on it, so you can get some pretty good items here, and I'll take you guys through that process. So this one here actually, you can see this is the one I bought just here that I found for 5C. So you can get some pretty good deals using this, especially now that there's not many people know how to search for this. So maybe I can help change that a little bit. Though that might end up affecting the market. We'll see, we'll see. You might be able to get in and get some good items, but nonetheless, the process is going to be very useful moving forwards because these are, in theory, a permanent addition to the game, and in the future, you're going to want to be exploring options for what can I use to incorporate a clear skill or an extra single target or something into my build, and how can I do that with Shaped and Elder rares? So let's go through that process. Let's say we're going to play a Glacial Cascade Mine build, right? That's a build I've made in the past that a lot of people are playing it currently, pretty popular this patch, so let's go through that. Glacial Cascade Mines. So we're going to go to PoE.DB. This website is basically a data mining website for Path of Exile, and it dumps all of the information. It's usually reasonably accurate, though it doesn't always include everything. Though for now, the Shaped and Elder rare mods in this seem to be fairly up to date. So this is a pretty good resource, especially while the wiki is currently down. But hopefully this stuff gets added to the wiki in the future. But for now, PoE.DB is the place to go. So there are 2 different types of these items that you can search for: the Shaped items or the Elder items, and they have different pools of mods. In terms of finding out which one is going to apply to you, you're just going to have to compare the 2 for each slot. At the moment, there's not like super clear distinctions between them. There's a bit of overlap, like if you're playing a spellcaster, you could find an item that's suitable in either one of those depending. There's a bit of kind of division of elements between the 2, depending on the slots, and some have a little bit more for melee and some have a little bit more for spellcasters and minions and stuff like that, but it's a bit all over the place. So for now, we're going to just search between the 2. So I'll give you guys a link to this in the description below, but basically you'll want to check either Shaper or Elder. So currently we're in Shaper, and then what you're going to do is just select the slot we're going to look for. So we're going to start with helmets. So we're looking for Glacial Cascade Mine helmets. So we select helmet, and that'll tag everything that's tagged as helmets in here. Then the easiest thing to do is to click this mods bar here, and that'll actually sort these mods in order. So we can click this twice here and we can get a bit of a look at what sort of things we're going to look for. So let's just have a quick scan through first to see if this is appropriate for a Glacial Cascade Mine build. So we have Critical Strike Chance, very appropriate. Remote Mine, very appropriate, with a place an additional mine as the hybrid affix for that, quite nice. We've got Trap and Mine Damage, very appropriate. Increased Area of Effect, could be okay. Hypothermia, very appropriate. What else do we have? Looks like lower versions of the previous ones, and we've got things like added cold damage to spells and stuff as a bonus. So there's some pretty good stuff here. Alright, so this is definitely one we could look for. So let's go through that process then. So let's say we want to make sure remote mine is one that we're searching for. So we're going to go to PoE.Trade or your preferred trading website. And then what we're going to do is we're going to type in the slot. So I'm going to bring up helmets here. And then we're going to go down into the mods, and you'll notice I've just copy pasted remote mine. And we're just going to type that in here, and that'll flag socketed gems are supported by level number hash pound tag thing, remote mine. So basically this will generate any possible level of remote mine. It'll catch all of those, which is handy. Searching for specific ones is going to narrow your results too much. So we're going to go for the remote mine. We're going to go for the trap and mine damage. So let's look for that on there as well. Go ahead and add mod. I'll close this tab. Socketed gem supported by trap and mine damage. We're going to add that as well. And we're going to also add increased area of effect. It's not amazing, but it would work for us. And it does include an extra area of effect bonus scaling there as well. In my experience, area of effect scaling, not super essential for a Glacial Cascade mine build because we already get so much AoE, but we could still add this in here anyway and take a look at items that have that could also have a combo with other things. So we should have, we have to look for this socketed gem supported by increased area of effect. There we go. Let's continue on down. Hypothermia, so let's add that in as well. So we've got a lot on this slot that we can search. Sometimes you might only have like 3 things on the slot, but I'll show you guys what we can do kind of in that regard. So there's the support gems that we want to use. Also, there's this critical strike. So this one's going to be a little tricky. We can go socketed spells have critical strike. Let's add this, but then let's take this out and maybe, I think it was number percent maybe. All right, we're not finding the result there. So let's say socketed spells have, there we go, it came up with that. So we're just going to search a part of that phrase to try and bring it up. So there is critical strike chance. I don't believe critical strike multiplier was listed in this slot, and we could control F multiplier to see if it's in there. It looks like it is being tagged somewhere, but I can't see it in this list though, so it doesn't look like it's actually one of the ones. That could be available on the Elder version of it. We're currently searching on the Shaper version. And you would want to compare and contrast each potential slot to find out which one has the most opportunities for you. And if you search and you don't find any good items in one, you could look for ones in the other if it is also appropriate. So critical strike chance, and there's also some other ones like added damage to spells. These are the ones that I would consider worth basically a support slot. So if we get 2 of these, any 2 of these, we basically have a 6-link. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop this box down to count, and we're going to type a minimum of 2. So we're looking for any helmets, and we've tagged that helmet slot there, that had a minimum of 2, a combination of any 2 of these guys. And if we didn't want one of these, we could just remove like the area of effect, for example. But let's search and see what comes up for that. Hopefully something. All right, plenty of things. So just here we have for 1C, a helmet with increased area of effect and hypothermia. Okay. Let's have a bit more of a look down. So we've got hypothermia, and spells have 1% extra bonus critical strike chance. And there's a lot of helmets here. There's a lot of helmets here. What we're looking for is something that has open crafting slots so we can master craft them, because they'll typically be underpriced, especially because a lot of people don't know currently what these actually take up, because these are hybrid mods and people aren't really sure if they're a prefix or a suffix. They aren't really looking too closely at the master crafting potential of some of these, nor are people really sure of the value of this sort of stuff anyway. There is no doubt a ton of bargains here. Now what you could do is, if you wanted to refine the search and only find ones that are already pretty good, we can add another filter group here. So we're searching for any 2 of these with, and we can put life in here, maximum life, at least 50. Now we're getting kind of an extra 6-link out of this, so we're okay with, you know, it maybe not being the best regular kind of life rolls and resistances and things like that, but we're going to look for at least 50 maximum life and see what comes up. Okay, so here we have something with 34 life and 40 strength, which brings it to 54. It's got socketed by area of effect and 1% critical strikes for 4C. Here we've got one with good life roll, resist, area of effect, crit, and that's 5C. So we're seeing a fair bit of those area of effect ones, which are maybe not quite as good for us, but so they kind of make like a pseudo 5-link, 5.5 link, because the area of effect is not as useful for us. But for clearing, that's going to be pretty nice. Let's have a bit of a look here. We've got crafted life with fire resistance. We've got trap and mine damage, hypothermia. That's got bonus mine damage on it, 5C, and it's a decent color. It's a usable color for this build. That is a very nice helmet for such builds. Now, this is maybe not the best example build-wise, because Glacial Cascade Mines already has access to 1 to 2 5/6 links in the form of its chest, and also its staff if it's using a staff. So this is not the best example, but this shows you guys the process that you can use. You can take any spell, just think of all the potential support gems that are available to you, or just go through this list and think about which ones of these would be good for your build. So there's like lightning stuff in here. Maybe you're playing like a lightning AoE build. You're going to tag Innovate and increased area of effect. And if you're playing a trap and mine, you can work in some trap and mine stuff like that as well. And, you know, things like crit chance, you can also add to the search, added cold damage to spells. So we could do that. We could do that just by doing this, added cold damage to spells. Let's say we wanted to have this same search, but include in this list, added cold damage to spells. So adds X to X, cold damage to spells. So we can add that in there. And if we wanted to really push it up and find an amazing helmet, we could try and search for helmets with 3 of those and life. So we get up in price a little bit here, but still here we have crit chance, hypothermia, increased area of effect with life 25C. So still something that is pretty decent, and you could see if like there's one here that's got 3 extra support gems, so that's a 7 link. So some of these are pretty nuts, and you know, that doesn't have a price. Maybe we could put in an offer on that guy, you know, yeah, 15C, and see if he takes it. So there's some pretty good deals to be had here, and that shows you guys the kind of the process to go through. And you can do this with any of these guys, not just the support gem ones, because some of the slots are less about support gems and more about other interesting effects. But there's some pretty interesting stuff you can get, like, hey, chance to gain a power charge on kill. I would love that in my, I don't know, arc build or whatever. You can simply whack that in there as well and include that in the search. So anything that's going to be potentially relevant for you, you can add these in here. So we've got chance to gain power charge on kill. Make sure you're actually adding ones underneath the right category here. So we can add that in. Let's see if that brings up anything different. You never know. You never know. There's a power charge on kill one here, but people are starting to recognize this is maybe a little bit better here because crit chance, power charge on kill, trap and run damage. All right. So gives you guys hopefully a good rundown of the process. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But hopefully this helps you guys find some nice shaped and elder rares for your build, so you can, you know, work in another skill to build and have a bit more than one skill to use. I love this expansion. It's so good. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.